The Ayurvedic diet originated several thousand years ago in India, and while it's a popular diet, did you know it can actually harm your health? Why? Well, this is exactly what we're going to explore in my video today. Ready? Let's get started. Hi, it's Paul Tarth here, certified holistic nutritionist and lifestyle coach of Raw and Healthy, helping you achieve a healthy weight, healthy hormones, and the body of your dreams naturally. Now, just before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press that bell notification to stay up to date with our latest videos. Okay, so let's talk about the Ayurvedic diet. Now, Ayurveda is an ancient wellness practice that originated in India several thousand years ago, and the word Ayurveda is a combination of two Sanskrit words, which in their translation to English means the science of life. Now, you will find many proponents of this wellness practice in not just India, where it originated from, but all around the world. Of course, since its inception, a lot has changed in our world, certainly with regards to nutritional science, and we now know a great deal about what foods are good for us and which ones are not. Now, it goes without saying, I think, for anyone who is interested in health and nutrition, that the modern SAD diet is a disaster for human health. Highly processed foods, refined sugars, lots of saturated fat, trans fats, oils, chemical additives. These are the food ingredients that literally demolish your health. Now, one of the things that the Ayurvedic diet teaches people is that human beings have three doshas: vata, pitta, and kapha. And these are believed to be energetic forces of nature that are to be found in the human body and the mind. Based on what is determined as being someone's dominant dosha, they are then supposed to eat a certain way for optimal health. Now, as human beings, in truth, we are naturally designed as frugivores if you take a closer look at how our bodies are actually designed. So this means consuming a diet of lots of fruits and soft vegetables in it. Yes, there are foods that humans can eat, but this does not include things like dairy products and eggs. Why? Because science now is very clearly showing us that we are designed to eat lots of plant foods, a herbivore diet, or a plant food diet in other words, and not a diet that has animal foods in it. To be at our best, we need to eat only the foods we are designed for, because if we don't, then we suffer health problems as a result in the short, medium and long term. And this certainly is true for the consumption of animal foods. Yes, some people will prefer a bit more of certain foods, someone might enjoy a bit more fat in their diet, for example, some might want a bit more protein, especially if they're building more muscle, and you might also have preferences around certain foods, but overall as human beings, we are designed to eat a frugivore diet with lots of carbs that will come from fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, also nuts and seeds and other healthy whole plant foods as well. The Ayurvedic diet also promotes something called ghee, which is a butter made from cow's milk. Thankfully though, with science, we can now see that animal foods in general are not good for human health and have many detrimental effects upon the human body. Some people who support animal food consumption will argue that this is all because of a polluted environment and poorly looked after animals, including medications given to them through injections like antibiotics and hormones, for example. But in fact, the truth goes much deeper than this. Even organically raised animals can still have a negative impact upon human health when consumed. So what are some of the negative health issues associated with animal foods which are also featured in the Ayurvedic diet, such as dairy products and eggs? Cows quite naturally produce lots of hormones which people then consume by eating dairy products, for example, and data shows that men who consume milk also absorb the estrogens in the milk, and this then significantly impact their testosterone levels. Indeed, an array of studies have shown that the consumption of dairy products is a significant risk factor when it comes to diseases such as prostate cancer, testicular cancer, ovarian, breast cancer, and uterine cancers. A study that was published in 2021 looked at over 1,700 women and found that the total dairy consumption was associated with the increased risk of heart disease. I'm sure you will agree it doesn't sound good for these kinds of foods. And it's important to understand that even if the animals are grass-fed and eat organic foods, their consumption can still lead to health problems because the foods are inherently unhealthy for humans to eat. So there's nothing healthy at all when it comes to dairy products. Ghee, for example, which is a very popular butter in the Ayurvedic diet, is very bad for your health as it contains oxidized fats, including oxidized cholesterol. In fact, foods that contain oxidized cholesterol may be up to 100 times more toxic than unoxidized cholesterol, contributing to not only heart disease, but potentially a number of different major chronic diseases, including Alzheimer's. Oxidized cholesterol is to be found in meat, fish, cheese, and eggs. Now, in a 14-study review, researchers found that people who consume the most eggs increase their risk of cardiovascular disease by 19%. If those people already had diabetes, then their risk of developing heart disease jumped to a whopping 83% with the increased consumption of eggs. It was also found in a study funded by the National Institutes of Health in America that by consuming 2.5 eggs per week, men increased their risk for a deadly form of prostate cancer by a huge 81%. The information about animal products that I have gone through here is by no means exhaustive, and I think we can say with great confidence that animal food consumption is not beneficial to human health and can actually do great harm to your health in many different ways. I think more and more people are now agreeing that science-wise it doesn't make sense to consume these kinds of foods, and ethically it doesn't make any sense as well. So even though the Ayurvedic diet has been around a long time, thankfully we know a lot more about the foods that we are now eating, and swapping out those animal food products like dairy and eggs will go a long way to helping you improve your health, especially when you switch to a whole foods plant diet that is low in fat and high in carbohydrates. Over the last 9 years, we've helped thousands of people get amazing results from restoring hormonal imbalances, gut health issues, reversing other chronic issues, and losing between 10 and 50 pounds of excess weight. It's all possible without following the Ayurvedic diet, and instead by eating a more healthy whole foods carb diet with lots of natural sugars. And it's possible even if you failed many times in the past. So if you're wondering how do I change my eating plan to one that's a health promoting, low fat, high carb, whole foods one that I've talked about in this video, then I would like to invite you to our free online masterclass where you can learn the 5 steps that our clients use to balance their hormones naturally, lose between 10 and 50 pounds of excess weight without carbohydrate restriction, and achieve the body of their dreams naturally. So the link for that is rawesomehealthy.com/webinar. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to link this video to another video where we interview a lady called Erica who we coached, and Erica talks about how she managed to turn her health around, lose weight, and is now living the life she could only dream about before.